Welcome back to Keep Expecting Miracles. I am Ilissa.
And I'm Jessica.
Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Ilissa.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I am so good. I feel really good after coming from off of this weekend, which was it was a great weekend. It was a great weekend. I had my first in-person class and it was short and sweet and just perfect as it is. So, just thinking about that and just being grateful for the opportunities. How was your weekend?
It was good, but I want to go back to you. So it's not that you're in class, it's not that you're a student. Can you please explain it to us so you can revel in the moment and accept it and step into it fully, please? Thank you.
Okay, let me walk through the door. My name is Jess. And I did my very first mini workshop for my herbal company, High Vibe Herbals, where I got to walk people through feeling joy through the ritual of making tea and got to teach a little something about what I have learned in the classes I've been taking and in my own practice. And I guess a major thing that I've been thinking about, I'm like, I literally sat up here in front of these people and said I'm a descendant of the Maroons, which I know that I am, but I've never like claimed it. And I'm like, I stood
Wow.
there and I said that.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yay. Yay, Jessica. That was
Thank
really
you.
good. That's something that I think you've manifested before.
Yeah.
Well, you obviously manifested, but you said it on the podcast, and just to see that and have it come to be this weekend is awesome. It's good. So yay!
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. But yes, I had an eventful weekend. I was with my babies. My husband was traveling, so I was with them, and so I'm a little bit tired, but it's
Yeah.
okay. It's okay. We're here. Recording day always energizes me, and I'm excited because we have another face here. We have somebody
Yes.
here.
Sister Yaya. Sister Yaya is a Caribbean energy healer and master herbalist, specializing in Maroon and Taino spiritual medicinal practices. Born into a family of spiritualists and healers, Sister Yaya has taken the rich culture of Jamaica and Haiti, in addition to the herbal wisdom of her ancestors, to help others heal themselves. With a degree in human services, education, and public policy from the University of Delaware and graduate studies in public health from Emory University in Atlanta, Sister Yaya has married modern healing modalities with ancient ancestral healing sciences, creating a multifaceted approach to wellness. As a medical empath, Sister Yaya uses ancestral wisdom to determine the source of spiritual, emotional, and physical illnesses, a talent developed while learning from spirit, indigenous healers, spiritualists, shamans, curanderas, sobadores, oracles, and teachers from the Caribbean, Central and South America, Africa, and Asia, whilst living in the US and abroad. Sister Yaya has traveled and studied in countries such as Brazil, Belize, Panama, and now Mexico, learning and practicing Mayan and Mexican healing traditions that are steeped in beautiful earth based cultures of indigenous people worldwide. Sister Yaya speaks several languages, from Spanish and Brazilian Portuguese, in addition to several dialects, and is now learning Yucatan Mayan. Sister Yaya currently holds the position of Indigenous Caribbean Master Herbalist and Healer, Reiki Master, Shaman, Spiritual Guide, Spirit Medium, Oracle, Light Bearer, Doula, Life Coach, and Holistic Esthetician. Initiated into the craft by her elders, Sister Yaya continues to uphold the sacred healing practices of Maroon and Taino people as her ancestors did centuries before her. While Sister Yaya's labor of love predominantly focuses on ancestral healing, she provides support for healing the inner child energy healer, offering compassion based solutions for people of all ages. She now practices her healing arts in Mexico, where she hosts personal and group retreats for learning and healing, such as her flagship certification training, Indigenous Medicine Woman Healing Retreat, in addition to Caribbean herbalism retreats. She is also a certified Mayan Sobada and serves as an apprentice to a local Mayan shaman. Her healing work was featured in the February 2023 women's edition of Yucatan Magazine, Rebel, Canvas, and Reckon News. Sistah Yaya's organization, Soul Tribe Heals, currently serves as a platform for sharing ancestral healing wisdom and helping to heal with others while serving to preserve the Maroon and Taino cultural values. The power of plants, prayer, intention, and divine love continue to remain at the heart and soul of her work. Learn more about her work and products at www.soultribeheals.com. Sister Yaya. I know it's Sistah Yaya, which then I have to go into my patois that I don't speak. But I'm like, look, she calling it out of me. Okay. Welcome, 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 everybody who's listening. Sistah Yaya is one of my herbal teachers. I took a class through the School of BIPOC Herbalism. And if you don't know what that is, go ahead and look it up. Sistah Yaya, as you heard during the introduction, she has her own amazing, amazing company that she runs and is living her life in her gifts. So, welcome, Sistah Yaya, and I want to know how you're feeling as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Thank you for your time and energy and the invitation. I'm just so grateful. I feel gratitude. I feel like a lot of tears are going to flow during this podcast. I can just feel it. Beautiful tears, right? Tears of joy. So today I am feeling grateful. I'm feeling grateful. You know, there's sometimes when you feel like when you're on the path and you're like, okay, when do you get to that sweet spot? When you get to that joy spot, right? And then when you get there, you got to be mindful and gratitude. Like, wait a minute, I'm living the things I've asked for 2 years ago. I asked for 3 years ago. Like, you can go back in your journal, and I really feel a sense of gratitude for this life, for breath, for the experience, however you paint them, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just feeling a lot of gratitude right now, and I'm grateful to be here. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. We're so excited. We knew when we created this podcast that it was necessary, but we didn't. It always humbles us and like shocks us when people are like, of course I want to come on and be a guest. And we're like, it's actually good. People actually want to be on. It's so crazy to even think about, like you said. So we're grateful to have you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I told myself, I'm like, do I say it? Do I not? Fangirling just a little bit, okay? Fangirling just a little bit. And, I know your story through the classes that I have taken with you. You've shared it openly, which is one of the reasons why I was like, Ilissa, she's our person. We need to ask. And it is a little bit scary to ask. But it's we have to believe in ourselves first, which thank you. We got to walk through that door and really stand in our own shoes. And of course, again, thank you for being here with us and accepting, walking through this door with us. But our viewers don't know you, our listeners don't know you. How did you get here? How did you get into this space of healing yourself, healing others?
Wow, that is a great question. How did I get here? It was destined for me to be here. I didn't wake up one day and say, "Oh, I want to be a healer." I didn't want any of this. I grew up in a church that was a little bit of a cult, but neither here nor there, where we did rituals and ceremonies. We were there 7 days out the week, exorcisms, camp meetings, shut-ins, you name it, like the intense spiritual experience. And the last thing I wanted is to be talking about spirituality, a ritual, see another exorcism. I did not want any of that. I saw how it, in the sense of how we practice, that there were some things that were missing that was unsavory to me as a child. But as I grew up, I realized a lot of those disciplines, such as the prayers, the rituals, the meditations, were things I naturally leaned into during my darkest moments. So I've always been a helper. always been a healer, always been able to see it through the veil, always had the gift of just knowing. But my way of knowing was different outside of how the church allowed it to be. So it became demonized. It became, oh, that's witchcraft. That's this, that's that. And so I always struggled in my life through acceptance, being rejected, although taught from the family, but still being rejected at the same time. It makes any sense. And so when I think about it, I think about that was the goal of colonization, right? To separate and cause these rips and tears and fissures in culture in our hearts and our energy. So we don't want to do that. And I was in that state. I do not want this. It costs too much. I don't have friends. My family doesn't accept me. This is not the journey for me. So as life went on, and life is the greatest teacher, in a lot of dark moments through the soul, I realized it's the same thing that I was able to go to, and it helped me. And I would share it with just stuff that I know. Oh, drink a soursop for this. Oh, go and do this, and just stuff, little stuff. And they were like, it worked. I'm like, okay, but I never put two and two together. Like, this is what you're doing. So of course, I went to grad school, did my undergrad, traveled around the world, had children, got married, worked for MAC Cosmetics, did accounting, bookkeeping. I just did so much everything, right? Not really filling the hole on the inside. There was still something missing. I'll get to a job and I'll excel, but I'm like, okay, what's next? And I'll do this. Okay, I count. What's next? That calling, that hey, you really need to be doing this more, didn't come apparent to me in probably about 10 years, right? So to say how did I become, I feel like it was just part of my life's journey. Like I said, my parents are Jamaican and Haitian, and they're all like Obia men and Obia woman on both sides, right? And voodoo and on both sides, although they deny it. So I was born into this. I remember being in the womb. I remember all of these things, right? I was born into it. I can't see it no other way. Did I go to a herbalism school, a Reiki school? The church or the organization we were a part of, they taught us about laying on of hands. They taught us how to, remove energies and things like that. That was my first school. And so now I'm really happy to see how it's being more mainstream where people can have access to these modalities because it's really powerful. So that's what happened.
Yeah. Well, it's so this obviously we invited you to have this conversation because as Black women and having gifts, having spiritual gifts, it's in us. We know it's in our DNA. And but when you are involved in religious organizations, sometimes, like you said, it's demonized. And literally every single person that we've interviewed for this series has said the same thing. Heavily involved in the church, seeking spiritual knowledge, seeking the connection, seeking something more, and you ending up going short. You're short, falling short, and it's you having to go outside of the religious aspect of that and really accept things about yourself that you're like, okay, you know what, I can go about this a different way. I don't have to be in this.
Right.
So I'm so happy that you said that because it's exactly why we're having this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it really is.
Yes.
Just, the fact that you said that they practice Obeah, but then don't know what it is.
Accept it.
Don't claim it. Don't say, "Oh yeah, I do that."
Right. So, it was the church was Caribbean, so people from all over the islands were there, and so the drumming, the all of the sacrifices, which is the communion, the sacrifices, all the things that we would do, but it just didn't represent us. It didn't look like us. We had to have another image with another likeness, right? And so that is another cultural wounding, which is how we show up in our appearance, right? The erasure of the melanated man and woman being seen as something to be like an esteem, not an idol, but something to look forward to that looks like us. Psychologically, that's important. Having images that are of a certain caliber to boost the esteem of a people. So while we had all of the, methodologies, the core of the self-love and self-acceptance had been extracted. And so that's, to me, was the part that was missing. How do I see myself in this? I see someone who don't look like me. The hair is different than me. I'm supposed to be following this person. I don't see myself
Mm-hmm.
in it.
Yeah.
So I could tell you more about that later, but I just wanted to say that that was one of the things that really was a catalyst for me. I couldn't find myself in it.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is powerful. That is powerful. And it's not, I mean, obviously that was your catalyst, but I could literally say that I probably asked myself the same exact thing. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I grew up in a household like my mom was always very honest. Like, okay, this is all a lie. Like, Jesus is a black man. Like, read the Bible; it'll tell you that. Like, my family has always been very honest about that. But still, we're not seeing that. So you're telling me that, but why aren't they showing that? So yeah, like you said, that's we can go a whole different direction with that. So wow, wow,
Mhm.
yeah. With your back, you said that you're Haitian and Jamaican. Where did you grow up?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I grew up in Southern New Jersey, and that's where they have all of the gardens, the farms. So it's kind of rural a little bit. I was born on the land of the Cohansey Indians, and they still have the Cohansey Indian tribe that is there. Raised by the Cohansey, been around the Cohansey Indigenous people, doing Indigenous people things. And they call New Jersey the Garden State because we produce so much produce in that area. So I grew up there with my mom and my sister, and my father, who's Haitian, lived in New York.
Okay,
Mm.
wow. Yeah. I knew that about New Jersey, but I never even thought about it that way. Wow, yeah.
And neither have I. I grew up in New York, and I'm like, wait, you teaching me something?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
you grew so in that is something too that Jessica and I realized too, like growing up in America and having ties to or experiences with the indigenous cultures that live in your area really does make a difference.
It
I
It
does.
remember,
does.
Jessica, we talked about you going to powwow when you were younger and how you like to be
Mm-hmm.
around that and like,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
yeah.
telling Alyssa, I'm like, for some reason, what was a big part. I'm grateful for this because it was definitely needed, but a big part of our education, growing up in New York was, I believe we went to New Jersey to visit native grounds. We
Wow.
went into a lot of different spaces, and Native American history was a major part of my
Mhm.
elementary schooling. And I remember connecting with it so much.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is unique. But it
Mhm.
makes a difference. It makes a difference, like it
Hmm.
probably seeded something in you to now have, your connection. I mean, obviously your family, your DNA is connected to it too, but it was, those experiences were necessary. So,
Absolutely. And if I could share this too, I grew up in an immigrant community of
oh,
Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and a lot of people spoke Spanish. A lot of the businesses were like Latino or Spanish speaking owned, so wherever island they're coming from. So those became my friends, right? And that's where I learned Spanish before I learned Spanish. You're in the barrio, you're actually the abuelita, and
yeah.
you go into the corner store, you want something to eat. The person doesn't speak English. So you better learn how
Mhm.
to ask for the milk, the eggs, the cheese
Yeah.
in
Yes.
Spanish. Little
Yes.
queso, huevo, pan. And that's where I gained a lot about those cultures of the Caribbean, but also of the Taino people, right? Who are the indigenous of the Caribbean, right? And so I always had a connection, like they were my sisters and my brothers, so very strong. So when you talk about being raised around indigenous people and the rhythm that flows through the air, how it really shapes the psyche, you're right on. I agree with you 100%.
Yes. Yes. Oh wow. Yeah. Like you said, you have done a lot of different things. You knew there was something more and you think about like how did my life come out to be like this? Oh, this is how. Because I like you said, I grew up around these type of people. You have to sit down and think about it.
Mhm.
So it does matter. It does matter.
There are so many experiences that we have, and it's which is why they like journaling and just sitting down and contemplating, and really, as you said, like sitting in the moment. Once you do something that you realize, oh wait, I manifested this, you have to question. It's wonderful to question, wait, how did I get here? What was I doing? Oh, so this event was a foreshadow for that. You know,
Mhm.
we learn all those things, and it's amazing to watch your own life unfold as you look back, and just almost like watching a romantic movie where you're just like, but is she gonna get there? But is she gonna do it? You know, but thinking about yourself.
Yes.
When did you discover that you had spiritual gifts? Because you said, like, you mentioned like schooling, that you didn't really have to do that, which I'm just like, sometimes I feel like, me and Ilissa, we're just like, we know these things, but we don't know how we know. Like, but we're like, okay, but we need to go to school, right? We gotta have some type of certificate. We gotta do this, we gotta do that. But like, when did you discover this?
My first memory, I remember being about 4 years old. But I always have this thing in my energy that, like, I feel like I've always been this in many lifetimes. And when I took ayahuasca, it let me see my lifetimes, and I've been doing this for lifetimes. When I had my ayahuasca experience, so that kind of made sense. But my conscious memory in this realm was about 4 years old, and we lived in a house, and I was trying to tell my mom that the house was haunted, right? Because in the night I would hear this, I would hear that, and she's like, "Oh no, you're making it up, making it up." And eventually, years down the road, "Oh, so yeah, I see that house, yeah, man, that house has something that's," and I'm like, "I've been trying to tell you." When I was 4 years old, and like, it's always been, it's like, okay, it's just me being a melanated woman. I don't know no other existence, right? So
Right.
to say this is the
Right.
moment I stepped into it, it's like I've always been. I have an old knowing of that, but 4 years old, I can cognitively remember, yeah, there's I can see these things. These things are talking. This is good. This is not good. This is what we need to do about that at 4.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stories about that myself.
See, I was the opposite because my family is, like you said, it's in our family. Like dreams, people coming to us is normal talk in in my family, and so I would always pray like, please don't let nobody. I don't want to see nobody. Please don't let nobody come to my dreams. Because I was so scared. So now I am welcoming that to like, like undo some of what I asked for. Because I'm like, I don't want to be visited by nobody, and like that's just that was a normal thing. And so I'm like, okay, now I can accept it now.
Yep.
But yeah, yes, yes.
Yes, like, that stuff is scary. It is scary and that was part of my journey myself, is just like you. Okay, I'm in this church, I'm learning these things, but they're not talking about the people that I'm seeing in the house. They're not talking about the dreams that I'm having. They're like, I don't have answers. What is this? Like, why are there no answers? Because this is clearly not, and then it's something that you don't really talk about unless, like, I would just listen to him, like, is somebody gonna talk about it? Is someone gonna say something? And I would mention a little bit, and of course then the adults would ask me questions, and then that was the end of that.
Mm,
But dreams, of course, was something that was more acceptable than seeing actual spirits,
mm,
because I feel like there's this belief of, if you see a spirit, then it's bad,
right.
Mhm,
then
mhm.
you gotta send it out. Like,
Right.
you don't need it around you. Did you feel the same way? We have this mutual, growing up Caribbean kind of thing.
Right.
So, but I would say that my mother was pretty open. It sounds like your family was not as open.
Right. But it's a dichotomy because they still taught me the so-called the Obia way, because it's a way of life.
Mhm.
But there was
Mhm,
still the other
mhm.
part is the church, right? So like you
Yeah,
said, just because some things were off limits, right? So the dreams, of course, we're dreamers. Maroon people, we're just dreamers, right? So of course
Right.
the dream's okay because everybody has a dream. But like you said, when you see a spirit, or someone comes in a house and you notice a shift and you say something, or if
yeah.
you call the adults out on their bullshit,
Hello.
then it's a problem.
Yes.
That is a problem. So,
Yes.
yes, I definitely understand, and I completely agree with you, Jessica. It was one of those things where it was like some parts are acceptable, but don't get into this part, right? But this part is just as real as this part, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so how have your family and friends viewed the way that you operate in your gifts now?
Wow. So here's the story. Um, Sometimes your soul will initiate you. So my soul initiated me when I graduated, when I left Emory University in Atlanta for my master's. There was some stuff going on there, and Spirit's like, "This is not the place for you. We're not going to do this type of healing. We're going to do the natural stuff, but not this stuff." And so things in my life started to go crazy. You know, I came down with the liver disease. I had bad acne. I had cervical cancer, blood sugar issues, overweight. I had so many things. So I got to a point where I told my family about the things that were not right as regards to children and the maltreatment of children. They basically said, if you don't like it, you can leave this family. And so my ancestors spoke to me in that moment, and they said, you can choose to stay and deal with the karma of this generational curse, or you can come along with us. And at 23, I had my first child at 14. So at 23, I was like, come on, universe. I mean, I didn't say it like that. It wasn't fun like that, trust me. But it was just a knowing that I cannot be a part of a legacy of child abuse, of molest. I don't know if I can say those words. Okay,
Yes.
the
Yes.
essay,
No,
I'll
no,
say
no.
that. Essay.
Yes.
I cannot. I just can't do it. I've been victimized by it. I know the torment that it brings. And if I have to walk away from this family to find my freedom, well, damn it, that's what we about to do. So my family, I'm completely disconnected from all of my family members. My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. I have aunties. No one speaks to me. I'm the person who's done this. I'm the person and I've never done a lot of the things I've been accused of. But one thing I realized with generational curse breaking, you're not going against personalities, you're going against energies. So the energy that
Yes.
wants to keep that alive in the family is what I'm bucking up against, right?
Yes.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
although I love my mother, she don't have the capacity to love me the way I am. So what I have to do is make a decision to say, I love you, but I love myself more. I
Wow.
appreciate you, but I appreciate myself more. And a lot of people, I'm going to get to your other part of the question. A lot of people are just like, how can you cut yourself off from your mother? How can you do this? But when you're called with a purpose, you have to follow that no matter who comes with you, who like it, who don't like it, who's riding with you, because there's something that's inside of you that drives you. There's something inside of you that gives you life, and it's undeniable. And anything that doesn't serve that purpose when you're on a life mission, it just seems like you just can't keep it in your auric field. It just can't vibrate around you. And sometimes that's your family, sometimes that's your loved one, sometimes that's your friend, but you have to choose. Is it going to be me or is it going to be them? And so my family, that's that story. I still try to be as amicable and peaceful, towards them. It's just very difficult. And then more I'm learning about what colonization has done to Caribbean people, immigrants in general, stripping of culture, the more
Yes.
compassion I'm developing for this process, mainly for me, mainly for me.
Yeah.
They can get their own
Yes.
compassion. I need all the ones I need right now.
Yes.
And my friends, complete opposite. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, yeah. When you gonna have your next event, girl? What we gonna do? This, that.
Okay.
Those are my friends now, but my friends then, again, they didn't understand because they knew an old me that was more going with the program, going with the whatever the acculturation is. So
Yes.
there was 10 years I was just by myself with no friends and no family, and it was just a stripping away of
Mm.
ideas and concepts that, okay, is this really me? Or is this something I learned? Or this is something society has put on to me? And sometimes you don't need the noise of things that are familiar, such as family and friends. I love them. Don't get me wrong. Well, we're talking about energetics here, right? And sometimes
Yes.
you don't need the noise. So you may have to separate yourself for a season. And so now my old friends see me now, we still talk, we still, have a good time together. But I think the price I've had to pay was the loss of my entire biological family on both sides. And yet the ancestors say you must bring this energy back of ancestral remembrance. We know you ain't got no family that love you. We know you, but we still need you to do this. So when I first started like really spending time with my ancestors, I had some issues. I had some questions. Wait a minute, if my biological family is this way, how can I trust you?
Mm.
If they ain't shit, how can I
Yes.
trust that you about your word?
Yes.
So again, that's wounding and trauma, right? So spending time over time, coming to accept and building this relationship, like I said, they always held me. I didn't know. They've always held me. They've always guided me. So to answer your question, that is how my family respond even to this day. And that is how my friends respond even to this day.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That was a lot of truths. I got chills over my whole entire body when you were speaking. And I'm so happy you so beautifully said, like, you could be born with a soul's purpose and a mission, and sometimes you're born into a family with certain energies that attach to you, that are attached to the family, that you have no control over. And it's up to you to recognize that and break free from it, because the energy does stick with the family.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It does. And
Yeah.
and you making that distinction, you saying, like, I know that this is an energy that's attached to them. I know that they are people. I know that their souls occupying, bodies.
Right.
That is, oh my, it allows you to have compassion and empathy.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It does.
So, yeah. Wow. Very, very
That whole
powerful.
story is deeply felt. That's everything you just said, deeply felt. Now,
Yes.
I need to know how you got to Mexico though. Because I'm like, okay, the people, you know how to order your food in Spanish. Okay, that's a
Mhm.
little crumb on the trail. Being able to choose yourself in the way that you did, that is just admirable. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I recognized about all of the women in the series that we have interviewed is every single one has said, I had to choose me.
Mhm.
I had to go the way that I needed to go for my own mental, physical, and spiritual health and
Mhm.
wellness,
Yes.
Mhm.
which I feel like, look, there's some plan that we are fulfilling that God needs us all to fulfill
Yeah.
together collectively, and it's happening, and I
Mhm.
love it. But
Yeah.
how? How'd you say, okay, I'm going to Mexico?
Let me tell you something. I think it's a great question. When you live your life in co-creation with your guides, your most elevated involved ancestors. I don't say everybody ancestors, because some ancestors you just want to let them be. Elevated involved ancestors, the universe, your animal totems, all of your guides that you're born with. When you live your life with them, they are co-creating with you, right? So I always just imagined living by the beach as a child, drawing pictures, but I never thought it was for me. I just like, okay, fantasy, right? So my husband and my son, we were living in New Orleans, Louisiana. And as you know, every year there's hurricane season. Every year we evacuate. Every year we come back. Easy peasy. Well, this time, my husband went to the sky. He looked at the sky. He said, I don't know, baby. This one seems like it's going to be a strong one. I said, you think so? He said, yeah, let's go on. Let's just go on down to my sister's. I said, okay, we pack up a few little things. My mind said, grab your papers, grab your important things, just in case it gets wet and et cetera, et cetera. So I pack up a few little things. I think we had 1 or 2 suitcases, little things, and my son. So the Hurricane Ida happened 2021, August 21st, 2021. And we left New Orleans and we've never been able to go back. House was destroyed, car was destroyed, business supplies was destroyed. Everything was mush up. Everything was destroyed. Now we thinking we got to come back home to New Orleans. And no, we just got these 2 little bags, each other, money going through the spending money, because now you have to have hotel here and hotel there and trying to figure it out. And at that time I did have an online apothecary, so the Caribbean herbs that we carried, all of that was destroyed. That was our income. So I had a friend, she was living in Yucatan where I live now, and she said, since you're homeless anyway, you might as well come to Mexico. Since you're homeless, just come, relax, kind of get like your mind calibrated to see what you want to do next. No, literally, Merida and New Orleans is like, if you throw a stone, you'll hit. It's like right across the Gulf. And I said, okay. We said,
Wow.
okay. So a property manifested, which there's a video on my channel about this beautiful property that had all fruit trees, mango trees, lime, chicken coop. And so we manifested a property before we got here and said, okay, that's a sign. Let's go. So we pack up the little money we had, and we landed in Mexico. Mind you, my husband doesn't speak any Spanish. I used my, see, now you think things come full circle. I knew Spanish, so I was able to, work that in. And I've always been around Spanish speaking people, so I kind of knew the culture a little bit. But we didn't have plans for Merida. We didn't have plans to move anywhere. We had plans to be in New Orleans and doing what we're doing. And so when that happened, it was a trauma. I was recently postpartum with my son, and my son didn't speak. He is a star, so he did not speak. So navigating a new country, the climate's a little different. Trying to find my son's special food because he had a lot of allergies. Then trying to understand how he's feeling because he didn't speak. Then trying to regulate my own nervous system, being postpartum, and having a lot of pain, which I can talk to you how I was able to heal my pain naturally and how it led to what I'm doing now. And then wanting to hold space for my husband. He's a man who works with his hand. He's a man's man. So now he's not able to do that. And we're recently married. So all of these changes are happening. I'm still suffering postpartum depression. All of these changes are happening. And one of my friends committed suicide, like while we were, like the first month we were here. All of these things are happening at the same time. So it's like break, 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 break. When I tell you, I got to know God on another level. No mother to call, no father to call. You still got to pay your rent. You still got to find food. You still have to make this thing work. But you don't have a place to go back. There's no plan B. There's a plan right here and right now. That changed my life to another level. All the other stuff changed my life, but in this lifetime, that was the deepest soul initiation. Everything gone. Not only that, you're in another country. Not only that, you have to find another source of income. Not only that, your family don't speak the language. It's a different culture.
Yeah.
That's how we got to Mexico. With a few little suitcases and the faith in our ancestors and our guides that they know more than what we know.
Wow.
And they do know. And so that's why we're here.
Wow. Wow. It's the level of faith. The level of faith has to be there because just one of those things is enough for somebody to be like, oh, well, this is not working out. We gotta go. Just one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being postpartum, like I'm postpartum now. I mean, my child is 15 months, and it's just like you're speaking to me.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a struggle to decide if being here was worth it. I feel like if you lose your family, you lose your tribe. Like to me, family is everything. But if you don't have that, and now you're in another culture, now you lost another mother, which was the land you lived on, right? Which this community that held you. You lost your biological mother, right? Which was another land that held you. But what is we doing here, universe? What is we really doing over here? Because I don't think there's anything else I can give up. What?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah. That is.
I really am.
Oh my goodness. I can't even. Jessica asked me a question earlier this morning because like I said, I'm in a period of transition. It's not nearly the same, but I'm about to go into a time frame where I'm going to have to rely on myself. Because I'll be separated from my husband because of just work and housing situation. But I'm going to I have a 4-year-old who goes to daycare. Daycare is no longer going to be. We're going to be separated during the week. He'll be seeing us on the weekends. I'm going to be farther away from family. And so Jessica asked me how are you feeling? And we're moving to a new city. And so Jessica's like, how are you feeling about that? I'm like, I'm about to enter into a deep transformation. It's going to be a deep period of transformation, and this is going to be an initiation. So the words that you used is just confirmation for me right now what I'm about to step into. So thank you.
Yes. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
My pleasure. You deserve it.
Yes. Thank you.
It's in these times, in these portals of transformation that we inadvertently are thrown into, that we really hear them. We hear the heavenly realm calling loud, loud and proud. And it's, I feel for those who don't know, who have not answered that call and don't know how to answer it, or
Yes.
feel like they're going crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Thank God for the backbone that we have and the knowledge that we have to know, you know what? Now's the time to sit down and deepen in my faith. Now's the time to look at these things that maybe other people would look at as, oh, that's satanic. No, like it's calling to me. I have to get in this, and this is what's supporting me now. That, it's here now. Like, I'm gonna take the smoke and I'm gonna cleanse myself because I need to. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it.
That's right.
This is how I heal.
That's right.
Man, I'm glad that you are where you are. You have, come out on the other side of that and have healed yourself enough to open up space for others to heal themselves
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned that you mentioned healing yourself. You were having pain, and can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking. So, as I mentioned, I was postpartum, really difficult. I've always had chronic back pain. And in our tradition, every symptom in the body is indication of where an element or energy might be out of alignment. So I've always had lower back pain. After I had my son, it was even worse. And I felt like because I was carrying a lot of the weight of the world on my back, because your back is what supports you, carrying a lot of weight, but also, well, let me tell you what happened. So I couldn't walk. Basically, I couldn't walk. And I was crying to my husband. I don't know what to do. My back just went out. I was bent over. I couldn't move. And so we called for a therapist, and he came and he helped me to do a few exercises and it helped. But the back pain was so persistent. So I went in one of the little groups that we have, and I said, I need help. Postpartum, I'm really going through a hard time. And someone recommended a patera. Patera. And I said, okay. But before this, I used to say to my husband, baby, I just need some indigenous hands. That's all I need. I need a big titty grandmom
Aw.
just to help me out. That's all I need. Let's go find her. That's all I needed. And I would joke. I would always tell him that, right? And so I did go to the village to meet with a patera, which is a midwife, a Mayan midwife. And she was so sweet, and she did the womb massage. It's like, oh, Iha, your womb is low. And so my womb was out of place, right? And I was like, my womb is low. She said, yeah, after you give birth, your womb and your organs are all out of place. So there's a process of called sobada, which means to massage, where you put your bladder back in place, the womb back in place, the intestines. You can do it on yourself. It's really easy. You can do it yourself, or someone could do it for you. But it was meant to put you back together. So after childbirth, it does a soul fragmentation happens. It's a trauma. So parts of you breaks off, and it's like kind of, let's say it's in this space. So the cierre, which is the closing of the hip ceremony, helps to put you back together on your joints, right? Call your energy back to you. It closes the cycle of pregnancy and childbirth, and opens up a new cycle because you're a new person, you have a new family. So we did all of that, and I've never had back pain again. Never. So I started spending time. Yes, I started just my little pesos and taking my bus down, and just to spend time to sit with them. And the more I sat with them, the more I realized that these are some of the whisperings of my great aunties that they used to say, they didn't want to talk too much about it. And I'm like, this is what so-and-so used to talk about. So-and-so what to do. So I was putting the links together that the Maya people of the Yucatan has a very much intact healthcare and herbalism culture. And so I have the herbalism culture. And as I'm listening, I'm remembering that this is what so-and-so used to do. And I'm like, wait a minute. Something is interesting here. And so the journey began. And as I was talking on the social medias about how I started to heal this part of me, people are like, yeah, can I come see you? Can I do this? And I'm like, of course. So they would come down, and, I'll do my herbalism, my energy healing, and then I will partner with the local indigenous healers here. We work together, spend time together to educate on how we can heal with our hands, how we can use plants and herbs, on how to support ourselves no matter what phase and stage of life, how after trauma, because trauma comes in many ways. You can move from one place to another. It's a trauma. It may not seem like a trauma, but your body registers it as a loss. So there's a grief.
Yeah.
Grief doesn't have a timeline. Grief can look like anything. So what are the herbs, right? What are the things? And as I'm healing myself, my memory, I'm downloading more of my ancient memory. I'm remembering more
Mm.
recipes. I'm remembering more plans. I'm remembering more methodologies. As I'm working and
Wow.
I'm healing myself, getting better, it's like my nervous system's like, choo, 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 choo. Remember this, remember this, remember this. And then,
Yes.
that's why we have the Indigenous Medicine Women Healing Retreat, is to help us to remember. We can take the mask off. It's okay. We're going to accept what's underneath that mask. We're going to accept all of that. Let's come and get the medicine of your ancestors, because it's for you. It's for me. It's for the world, right? So it was because of my postpartum, after being here and under the stress and everything, that I gotten connected with really, really great people of character. That's a big thing. Who knows their arts, who wants to teach it. And so now our retreat, we teach, you receive, but you also teach, because I'm a big component believing, yeah, we can give, give, give. But baby, who's going to fill our cups? And I'm not
Yeah.
into empty cup these days. I am not into burnout.
Mm.
It's just not God's will for me. My ancestor says, "Hell to the no, we're not doing that," because that's been done already, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's balance out this. Let's balance the scales. Let's balance the energy. So where my grandmother and my auntie and them couldn't enjoy the fruits of their labor and they worked so hard, I'm here to get it. I'm
Yeah.
here to get it. I'm for the ease. I'm for the softness. I'm for the manifestation. I'm here for it
Yes.
all. And so that furthered my healing journey. I wouldn't say it started, but it furthered my healing journey, and allowed me to expand a bit and also share with anyone who wants to learn.
Wow. When's your next retreat?
November 11th through the 18th, Yucatan, Mexico. November 11th through the 18th. There's 7 days here on the beach. We do plant medicine such as rape, which helps to open up the mind, open up the nervous system so you can be in your body. We do sweat lodge such as Tamascal. We just did
Yeah.
one on Saturday where we're entering to the womb of the mother, the lodge, and then we're sweating, we're praying, we're releasing, we're coming out, rebirth. You
Wow.
learn how to do so by that. So you can do it on
Yeah.
yourself and for those that you serve. And the Mexican government gives us permission to give you a certification with your name on it that's good for Mexico and United States to practice if you decide to open a
Wow.
practice, right?
Oh
So you'll
wow.
get that certification. We go to visit the Mayan midwives. I take you to a village where one of my favorite midwives lives. You can ask her all the questions you want and see all of and she'll teach you her methods. And we meet the Mayan herbalist where you'll learn their methodology. Same soursop, they may use it differently. Well, let's learn together, right? So, they're giving out
Yes.
herbs. We're walking through the village, we're going through the farm. We're doing all kinds of things, but we're together, small group, no more than 10. We're together, we're learning together, we're crying, releasing together. Most importantly, we get to be our authentic selves. Out of everything, I tell people, come relax. Leave your Chanel, your Gucci at the house, because we're gonna eat. We're gonna eat, we're gonna be sweating outside, we're gonna be plucking these herbs, talking to the land, doing prayers, rolling on the floor. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna give
Yes.
back to the way the universe created us. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. I need to come. I need to
Come on.
come. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I need to
I need
come
that
cuz
womb
I
massage.
did have the closing of the bones. My doula in Arizona, she's from Colombia and she's very
Mm.
connected to the indigenous culture there in Arizona, and so I did but I still I have lower back pain, and then I have my left hip is just not in place. Like
Mm.
I feel like I probably dislocated it having my son. So like I was doing some leg circles last night. I'm like, is it healed? Is it, I still feel pain? I
Uh,
still feel something. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I need to, and I'm in my mind. I'm saying the same thing. Like I need some indigenous person to do some work on me for real.
Absolutely. We have a bone doctor too, a Mayan bone doctor. I
Oh
actually had the same thing with
wow.
my son's, but it's my right hip. When I had my right hip, that was like,
Right.
oh, it's so painful. So he's
Yeah.
worked with your energetics. I have to post all this stuff. I'm still getting around to it, but we have a Mayan bone doctor that specializes in those things as well.
Oh.
Powerful and
Yeah.
non-invasive, powerful stuff.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
And
wow.
I want you to say your website here
Oh
in the
yes.
middle of the episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Soultribeheals.com. That's SOUL. Soul Tribe, TRIBE, Heals, HEALS. Soultribeheals.com.
Yes, that's for all the
Wow.
people who are like me that are like, wait, I need to look this up now.
Now, exactly, like
Like,
right
I'm
now.
not waiting till this episode is over. I need to hear it now.
Yes,
I
Yes.
need to see it.
Yes,
Book it
Instagram,
now.
everything is Soul Tribe Heals.
so trivial.
YouTube, Soul Tribe Heals. Instagram, Soul Tribe Heals. Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk after the episode
Yes.
too, because I
Mhm.
want to come, but me and Jessica we're going on another retreat, the same exact. We're going to
The
Bali,
same time.
the same
Same exact
time in
time.
November.
Oh,
Same dates.
Same.
really?
Yeah.
We,
Well,
Starts November 11th. Yep.
wow.
yeah,
Well, we
yeah.
do this
So
retreat twice a year. We do it
okay,
twice a year. So the next one will be like April, late March, April ish. And then
okay,
again in November. And sometimes if
okay,
you have like a small group and you just want to say, hey, me and my friends want to come, we can organize something outside of those cycles.
Mhm.
Do our best to do that for you.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we could do that. Maybe we
Yeah.
could do
Yeah.
that.
I look, I need to come. You covered that in the class as well, like the womb
Mhm.
massages and everything, but I don't think I was present for your whole story if you did share some of what you just said here. Because I actually have a prolapse, a uterine prolapse. And I have this belief where I'm like, I know that it can reverse,
Mhm.
and I know that
Mhm.
there had to have been something. So I was telling Alyssa about it before, like years ago when I first found out. I'm like, I keep looking it up. I'm like, there has to be a way. There has to be a way. And I also felt the need. There has to be an Indigenous person that I can go to
Yes.
who can
Mm-hmm.
help.
Mm-hmm.
And I look up womb massage in my area and there's nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Jessica, if you don't mind me asking, what area you're in, Florida area or what?
yeah, Orlando, Florida.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we offer
Yeah.
certifications, and sometimes our those who are certified they live in different states. So the closest one I know would be
Okay.
Georgia. So for
Oh,
you,
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Hey,
Yeah.
look, that's closer. Closer to
yeah,
Mexico.
it is.
Yeah.
I still want to come. I still want to
Yeah,
come.
we're gonna go. I'm going down there.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Yes.
going down there.
Yes.
That's without a doubt. I have I have to.
Come
I need to.
on.
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
need to
It's a
because that
necessity.
was one of the main things that Jessica and I connected on, as I was telling you before we
Mhm.
started recording. Like I was healing fibroids.
Wow.
Um and family history obviously of it, and so the what I got was, oh, you're gonna have to have surgery. You're gonna have to have surgery. They're gonna have to take them out. They're gonna have to take. And I knew in my heart, like, no, I don't need surgery. I can heal this myself. I am my own medicine. I will figure out what to do. And after we came back from Costa Rica, downloads of the recipes for yoni steams and teas and what I needed to do and just how I needed to cleanse my body, the foods that I needed to eat, and
Mhm.
getting understanding my cycle and eating according to the cycle, and so it all just started coming.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
I, hmm
Wow.
That's
yes,
beautiful.
yeah.
Mhm.
So,
That's
but
beautiful.
yes, so we have we like to ask all of our guests, what are you currently manifesting right now?
What am I currently manifesting? I am currently manifesting. I've manifested a lot of stuff, so I really had to think about this one. um, I started a conversation about gratitude, right? I just want to
Mhm.
experience a deeper level of it. I just want to
Mhm.
experience a deeper level of it, like swimming in the ocean type gratitude, right? The water's cool, it's crystal clear. You're not sweating nothing, you're not thinking. I just want to continue to deepen my gratitude because in all of what I shared with you, there are just as many miracles, there are just as many blessings that's happened along the way. To the intensity of my so-called quote unquote suffering has been the intensity of the blessings and the miracles that have happened. And y'all can the ancestors, y'all can keep doing that. Y'all can keep bringing it on in. So, and I know in order to attract more of what you want is to show gratitude for it, right?
Mhm.
Thank you for my health. For a person who used to be chronically ill, still
Mhm.
having the wisdom, but still chronically ill, don't know how to apply it to self, but to others. Thank you that I have the knowledge and the will and the power to take this medicine for myself. Thank you that I have the heart that I want to serve and I want to share, and I do it afraid, not afraid, but I just have the courage to do it. I thank you for courage. I thank you for boldness, that although my dark skin has seemed as a scarlet letter growing up, I show up fully who I am all the time. I thank you for giving me the desire to want to be in this world and to be of service. Thank you. Thank you. And the more I do that, I don't know, it just does something to my body. I can't describe it. It just like lifts me out of my body and just gives me such a great sensation. So I'm currently manifesting just deeper gratitude and thanksgiving for everything, and not judging it as good or bad, but it is, and it's perfect. When I mean perfect, had anything changed, and what I've told you, one detail, even from having my son at 14, I wouldn't be the divine being standing in front of all of y'all. And I like this person. So I got to be grateful for the perfection of the wisdom of the Most High to say, you need a little bit of this, you need a little bit of that, like a little gumbo, this and that. And look how, what a wonder we are. That's why I said in the beginning of this, we need to see images of ourselves in this exalted state in these churches, because it does something for us. And so I want to continue to be that person for me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Man, look, the drops mic.
Right. Like, do snaps. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Yes.
amazing.
I want the same. I'm manifesting the same exact thing. So yes, yes,
Mhm.
we receive it.
Same.
We receive it. So
I
you
told God and my
mentioned,
ancestors show out.
I know, I know, and this right now, this conversation is a testament of it, because there's
Mm-hmm.
so many
Mm-hmm.
synchronicities, and just the
Mhm.
alignment is. New Orleans is one of my favorite cities. I grew up in Slidell because my dad was in the
Oh,
military. So
yeah.
we left right before Hurricane Katrina. We sold our house and moved to Florida.
Oh,
So maybe like 2 years before I would say. But it's just like the synchronicity. And then I heard you say you lived in Panama, like my family's Panamanian. So I'm just like, there's so
ah,
many different, there's so many different, similarities, synchronicities, just connections that I feel in your spirit. But also too, I mean, we know that herbs is a major part of your practice and your healing. And you mentioned soursop a lot, but are there any you can tell us about that, and any other plants that you've aligned with on your spiritual journey?
absolutely. Of course, I always talk about soursop because it's been a very loyal. It's a very loyal herb, and it works great on the nervous system, right? So, in moments of stress, anxiety, sleeplessness, it's just a good ally to make. It's very simple. It's a hard, durable herb. It's kind of thick, right? So it helps me to remind myself of the strength that's required in life. I love that it rebuilds the nervous system from trauma, stress,
Mm,
not just helps you to sleep better, but actually rebuilds the synapses of the nerves so that you can think better, feel better, move better with time. It's also great for mothers who are breastfeeding, and it helps to produce more milk, and it's safe, and it's great anti-cancer, antiviral, and it's just everybody in the family could use it. Soursop. My second most favorite herb is not as common, and it's only endemic to Jamaica, as I'm told, is Search My Heart. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Search My Heart. And that's great for any heart conditions. It looks like a lungwort a little bit. It's a little fuzzy, kind of long, little fuzzy, but very soft and has this. It's I say a maternal smell to it. It kind of like smells like a woman's natural essence to me. I don't know if you've ever
mm,
smelled it, but it has this warm to it. It's fuzzy and it's a mild tasting one, but it's great for, I love it metaphysically for self love, right? When I'm feeling like
mm,
I'm going through a difficult time and I know I'm too hard on myself, I'll just make some Search My Heart. And it just really, it does that for me.
mm,
Children could take it. It's good for coughs. Cold is great for grief, right? Anything
mm,
dealing with the lungs is also good for grief. So it's great for times of transition. I know, Ilissa, you're getting ready to transition. So Search My Heart might be something, you can put it in a candle, put it in a foot bath, put it in a pillow underneath your pillow and go to sleep, make a bath, make a tea out of it. Um, at a time I had to have a really difficult conversation with someone. The first thing I did was made a cup of Search My Heart. And you'll just be surprised how much the heart opens up and they start to share more, and how much you will too. It really is a connecting. It really is a connecting herb. If you're trying to reconcile a relationship, with yourself or with someone or something, I would work with Search My Heart. I'll put some on my altar, make a tincture out of it. Tinctures beautifully. It tastes amazing. Search My Heart is exactly what it says, searching your heart. Any physical heart conditions, it helps to support that as well. So that's that one. And I would say the other one in Jamaica, it is called pennywort. In the West, it's known as gotu kola. Gotu kola, I absolutely love. It helps to rebuild the melanocytes. So melanocytes are the cells that have melanin. Melanin help us to see better, hear better, taste better, be more connected to the most high. It's just the super molecule, right? So sometimes through stress, food, trauma, you name it, our melanocytes can get weak. And so gotu kola is beautiful because it helps to rebuild that. Especially if you have a lot of melanin, it gives you more superpower. It's just like soursop. It helps to rebuild the brain, the spinal cord, any injuries from even just mental stress and trauma. I love gotu kola for that. And so, or pennyroyal or pennywort. I love it for that. And so those are the three that I'm really vibing with right now. And they're just so beautiful. And they like to play with other herbs, right? So soursop you don't have to take by itself. You can put with this one, put with gotu kola. You know, they like to play with others. And so it's really nice.
So the soursop, is it the leaves?
Yes, that's great. It is the leaves. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Wow. And you sell them on your website?
Yes, so currently we do have soursop
Perfect.
on our website, soursop leaves. The other two we are getting in because we do import from the Caribbean side of Mexico and throughout the Caribbean. And, you know, our farmers are on indigenous people time. So we have it when we have it. When it sells out, we just have to wait to the farmers because it's important that we support their communities. It's important that we support their work and we're not like commercialized.
You're
We're
not
honoring
trying
the
to
sacred rhythm.
overproduce and
Yeah. And honoring the
yeah.
sacred rhythm of life.
Yes.
So, but currently we
Yes.
do have soursop leaves for sale. And if you use Soul Tribe code, that checkout, you get 10% off. Soul Tribe.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Soul
good.
Tribe.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
so good. You just explained why my mother is frequently uses. I have to re up on Go to Cola for her. She loves Go to Cola. She was visiting me yesterday and she's like, "Hey, I'm out of my Go to Cola tincture. I need more." And I'm like, "Okay." And then she got everybody, you know, I'm constantly because she lives in another city than I do,
Oh,
and she's like, "Hey, this person needs Go to Cola. That person needs Go to Cola," and I'm like, "Okay, I wonder, you know, like what?" She's like, "We just feel so good."
you do?
Really?
Mm.
But now I'm also gonna say, hey, soursop, because they got soursop trees. Start picking them off and making that tea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. All of
Yeah.
that. Three
Yeah.
herbs. Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome. My
Yes.
pleasure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have another segment and it's called Witchy Shit.
Mhm.
And during that segment, Alyssa and I love to talk about practical things that we do to help us feel grounded and enhance our connection. So, how do you feel grounded? What is your practice to make you feel grounded that allows you to feel grounded throughout your life, throughout the day, week, whatever?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. And I love this segment, by the way. Whoever titled it, it's a beautiful title. So thank you. Um, so I make my practice part of my lifestyle. So every night I'm using a spiritual bath. So in my bathroom, I have different spiritual baths lined up for whatever malady or whatever energy I want to work on. I work with what was already rhythmic, right? So showering is rhythmic, washing your face is rhythmic, brushing your teeth is rhythmic. So I'm not feeling like I have to take out this extra time, which is important. Don't get me wrong, but I can just do it with my everyday. So spiritual baths is a must every day. I have some for protection. I have some for road opening. I have some for spirit of God or the angels. I have things like that. So if I'm feeling like I'm needing some support of one or the other, my baths are already prepared, and I take my spiritual baths. Also, my spiritual soaps as well. They're also are also charged for those with those properties. I'm always drinking tea. You know, I don't know what Caribbean person you know that don't drink at least 2 cups of tea a day. So I have my
Mm-hmm.
tea
Mm-hmm.
blends, tincture blends, and I'm drinking tea throughout the day. If I'm going to my workout class, I have my tea water. So those are the things that I like to tap in on a regular basis. I also do a lot of I like to work with the element of fire. So I'm always going to have some type of candle,
Mm-hmm.
candle, or I'm burning copal, which is a tree resin to cleanse my aura, cleanse my house. My home
Mm-hmm.
is very important to me. So I do the practices here because the world has all the stuff. But when we come in here, it's a sanctuary, right? So
Yes.
even in our cleaning products, we use certain essential oils and certain plants in our cleaning products because they evoke certain energies. We all have to clean, right? So
Yes.
let's put it in our non-toxic spray, our glass cleaner. Let's put it in these things. So as you're smelling it, we're being mindful of the intention, and it's part of keeping everybody grounded. Because I could be regulated, but if my husband, my son is dysregulated, then I'm dysregulated, right?
Right.
So it's important that their well-being is, we're on the same thing. So we put it in I put healing and medicine in common things, so that is part of like the household culture of being grounded. That makes any sense?
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Beautifully explained. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
I tell my husband, say you need to watch this episode and listen to what she's saying. Yes. Oh, you know what? I mean, we have to wrap it up. You are, a whole person. You have a husband. You have children. I mean, once you're good, everybody's gonna fall in line. You are the source for the household. But what has their adjustment, or how have you included them? How have they accepted, or you know?
You hinted at where you said that when you lost your home in Louisiana, that you guys sold the herbs, your husband and you. So we're becoming, Alyssa and I are like stepping into becoming who we felt we always have been.
Mhm.
And so it's like, like,
It's taking
of
some
course it's,
extra massaging. I have to
yeah,
massage a
we
little
got to
bit
warm them
more.
up a little bit.
Oh, okay, okay. I see. Like,
Correct. Yes.
how am I able to like maybe reconcile the differences, maybe like with my husband and my practice, and how we've been able
Yes.
to make it work?
Yes.
Oh, good question. Good question. So when my husband met me, I was already kind of like, in this world a little bit. So he already knew I was kind of weird, but it wasn't to this level. I've had to have a lot of conversations with him. He's seen the miracles, signs, and wonders, and I'm like, this gift I can't control to an extent, but I realize this is my journey, not yours, right? And I even tell my
Mhm.
son, this is my mama's journey, it's not your journey. So I have to find a balance because I want my husband to be happy, I want my son to be happy, I want us all to be happy. So it's constant communication. If I make plans, let's say to travel, or I have an idea, I want to do a class, or I want to invite a whole slew of people, I run it by him. What do you think about this? Because he also knows my tendencies to want to take on the world. And the masculine is the one that guides to say, okay, now you're a little bit over yourself, or maybe you should think about this, right? So I
Yes.
include him as a respected member of Soul Tribe Heals. It's not you see me, but when you see me, you see him, right?
Mhm.
He's been my protector. He has his own medicine. It's just not on social media and it's just not giving classes. But I couldn't show up in my capacity had I not had him. He's helped me to realize that the importance of balance. And
Mhm.
actually, he's helped me to be more feminine and more in my flow, right?
Mm.
I love
And
that.
so I've had to lean into his wisdom a lot. I had to sometimes be quiet just because
Mhm.
I know what I'm doing over here. But in my house, I'm a wife, and that's a different dynamic. Yeah, you can do all that
Yes.
stuff on the outside. But baby, when you're in this house, we have an energy that we've cultivated where there's balance and everyone feels respected, honored, no matter who's making the money, no matter who's cooking the food. Cooking the
Yes.
food and making money is just as important. No one's doing anything better than the other person. And so
Mhm.
I didn't grow up with a father present in the household, or I never saw my mom model behavior. But I did know she did teach me what I didn't want. She did teach me about the ideas and the energy to hold that will repel masculine energy. So
Mhm.
because I respect my husband, he's my friend first. Above everything, he's my friend. Like y'all friends, he's my friend. Will I do this to a friend? Will I talk to a friend this way? Would I
Mhm.
say this to a friend? And when I started there, and we just talk a lot, and we sit with what's uncomfortable. We don't run, we don't hide, we don't mask. We literally keep each other accountable to sit with uncomfortable and have those hard conversations when when our inner child is triggered, when this don't feel good, and realizing these are our feelings. This is Yaya feeling this way. I can say, oh, you did this, you did that, but these are my emotions. Why am I triggered? And so that puts a mirror up that says to me, you know what, Yaya, look at yourself. You think you stunting for the gram, baby, but you need to fix this right here. You think you fly giving these retreats, but your attitude is messed up. So, and it's true, because the true power of those, in my opinion, this is my opinion, who are doing this healing work, is who you are when the camera's off. How do you talk to your children? How do you talk to your parents? How do you talk to yourself? That's to me where the power comes from, is who you are to your spouse, the one who sees all your secrets, who knows if you sneaking cookies and doing this and lying. Who are you to this person? That's where the healing is. And if you can't be kind and nice and respectful, not saying you got to be perfect, not saying you're not going to get on each other's nerves. That's relationship. I'm talking about character. And if this relationship isn't refining your character and bringing you to the next level, both, then it's maybe something to examine. But he's one of my greatest teachers. He is one of my greatest teachers because he reflects me, good, bad, and different, back to me. He reflects it back to me. And I'm able to adjust, and then I can come to the world and say, these are some things. These are some things. Character, character, character. And so lots of communication and lots of sitting with the ugly cry, lots of being angry, but still say, I don't care to be angry. I'm still going to love you. You're not going nowhere. You're not going no damn where. We're going to do it together. Shit.
Yes.
That's how you got to do it.
Yes. 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 Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for that.
And
Yes.
for my son, I include him on small things like watering the plants and helping with the food and listening to the music and the dance. I include him on small because he's grew up in it basically. So
Yes.
he's included in the safe things for children at his age. So he's aware. He's like, okay, mom. He does a copal. He does this whole thing, so he's
Yes.
used to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you sharing that because
Yeah.
Alyssa and I, we have a little bit different dynamics right now as far as marriage goes. I'm married but separated, and so was told by my husband. He was like, I was like, I never shared exactly how spiritual I have always been. I like kind of hid myself because I didn't think that you'd be okay with it. And he said, yeah, it's kind of scary. I said, oh, okay. So I did the right thing. And so even, my son with him being older, 16, he was like, Mom, you really changed. And I'm like, yeah, I became more of who I am. And he's like, yeah, it's really different. And I'm like, oh man. I'm like, it's different, but it's good. Like, it's our relationship has deepened. My guidance to him has been a little different, but yeah, I appreciate your answer to that question because that's exactly who we need to operate in our feminine and be using our gifts as Black women, like to be supported, to be protected, respected through our differences and, you know, similarities and all that. That was a beautiful response.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was really good. It's definitely gonna help me. I'm gonna use it today. I'm gonna we are yeah, because me and my husband, we know the power of our relationship. Um we are very spiritual. We have been religious in the past, and so that is like the thing right now that is it's coming up for both of well for him mainly is how do we still include God in what we're doing in rituals that involve ancestor veneration. It's like God is all around. He ain't never left. We ain't he's not going anywhere. And so it's just a big just different for him. So I just have to do gentle massaging, but he's a balance. He balances me out, like you said, and we both have seen how the reason why he can't deny my spirituality is because we've seen the miracles, like you said. We've seen the miracles. we've
Yeah.
seen manifestation, we've seen the blessings, we've seen it work in our lives, and other people have seen it. And we know that our relationship is what it is, and it has a purpose bigger than us.
Mhm.
Um, we just have to re-examine some things and rework some things. We have been in a system. We're both in the medical. I'm not in the medical system anymore, but
Mhm.
we both have been trained inside of the medical system, and it kind of sucks the soul out of you. Um, the type of person that you have to be in that. And so we're coming to an end of a very long training that he's had because of his career. And so I'm now like, we got to recalibrate. We got to bring the soul back. We got to honor our spirit. We have to honor our relationship in a different way. So
Mm.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
you're welcome.
This was a wonderful episode.
Yes. Oh my
Again,
gosh.
just
So good.
so good. So good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
This was
And
Yes.
lovely.
grateful. We are grateful.
Yes, yes. We are
Thank
so grateful to you. Again, can you share your social media and your website?
Sure, sure. So if anyone would like to get in contact with us, it's Soul Tribe Heals, just as it sounds.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Soul Tribe Heals, just as it sounds, SOULTRIBEHEALS. Email is info at soultribeheals.com. And that's how you can find us and see what we do. Thank you.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh,
I'll make
yes,
sure those
please.
links are in the description. So
Thank
if
you.
you can't write it down, it's going to be there.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Go follow her and follow us if you're not already at Keep
Yes.
Expecting Miracles Pod. Watch us on YouTube. Share the episode. This series, Black Women in Their Spiritual Gifts, is, I know, going to be very, very powerful and impactful. So we're so happy to have Sister Yaya here with us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is a perfect, perfect, perfect episode. Thank you so much. We're
You're
so
welcome.
happy. Yes.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank
Yes.
you. Alrighty, until next time, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.